Can one simple sketch really give you 8 totally custom designs? Absolutely. Today we're using the August SheetLoad of Cards Sketch, taking each card up a notch with easy detail upgrades. And I also have a coordinating envelope project to share. Hey crafty people, this is Ellen with EGI Designs and welcome to my channel. I'm excited to share that I am the guest artist this month for the August SheetLoad of Cards Sketch. And if you aren't familiar with the SheetLoad of Cards, every month Alicia from the Call Me Crafty Al channel puts out a new card sketch for her subscribers. And I will link over to her channel where you can download the free printable. I really appreciate being a part of the video hop this month. Be sure to go visit the SheetLoad Design team members channels and check out their creations for this month as well. Their channel links are down below in the description box, and the playlist will be listed there as well and also on the end screen. So today I am bringing you the August SheetLoad of Cards sketch, and this is a square card, and the sketch makes 8 cards, which is awesome. And it is in a 2x2 grid with smaller squares. My papers that I use today, this absolutely gorgeous Tim Holtz Palette Collection Purple. And then for the cardstocks, I have Winter Wisteria from Papertrey Ink. I have Fairy Tale from Spellbinders, and I have Pure Graphite from altenew. So those were my basics for this project. With it being 8 cards, what I thought I would do is give you 8 different cards using exactly the same supplies and just tweaking each one just a little bit so that when you have a card sketch and you're looking for ways to step it up or add on to it, hopefully this will give you some just like little tweaks, little ideas of things that you can do. All right, let's run through all of the completed cards, and I will point out to you where I made those little tweaks to change up the card design. This one is exactly as the sketch calls for. We have the 4 squares, we have the circle in the middle, there's nothing popped up. So this is the kind of the starting line for where to begin. On my second card, I added a mat to the sentiment, but then I also added inking to the edges of each of the squares, the mat, and the card base on that to kind of give it a more vintage, distressed, kind of moody look. On the third one, this one I popped up, if you can see, all of the squares. So it gives it a really cool 3D effect. I have a mat for the sentiment as well, but that is flat on there. So that's another option. And again, these are just like little tweaks, little ideas that you can do to make any sketch card your own. Just those fun little details. This one, I added the squares to the matte layer, and then I ran it through an embossing folder. So you get some really cool textures there in the background, and then I added this on flat. And then for the 5th card, a couple things that I changed on here. I added a flower die cut in the background, and then I changed the shape of the sentiment to be a square. And then I did pop that up on top of there. For the 6th card, this one is dark and moody and very distressed. On each of the squares and the matte layer, I used the Tim Holtz distressing tool, kind of roughed up the edges there, and then I also added a little bit darker ink around that. So, and I have the matte layer under the sentiment and a little bit of inking on the edge of that, but that's a dark and moody version. And then for the 7th card, I didn't even use the circle at all. I just added a flower. So I'd cut that out, and the fairy tale ink, added a little bit of ink blending on top of that. But again, I have the distressed edges on the squares and the mat for that one. And then for the last card, this one's a little bit kind of shabby chic, vintage looking. I added the squares to the mat, and then I used this distress chiffon ribbon just around the middle. This ribbon is so thin that you don't need to, pop up the layer or anything. It just, it doesn't add any bulk at all on that. And then I have the sentiment and the matte layer behind that. For every card on the inside, I cut a panel of the fairy tale cardstock, and then I added a strip of the pattern paper on that. Some of them I did little flags, so just to kind of take in from the design from the front into the inside. Next up, we can talk about mailing these square cards. All right, so when you are mailing a square card, any square card that you mail, the post office will want you to use a non-machinable stamp. And that is the one with the purple butterfly, or the new ones are, I think, a Luna moth, and they are gorgeous in and of themselves. But anyway, so you would need to have the square envelope with a non-machinable stamp. It is a little bit more costly. But they will not run it through the machine. For whatever reason, the machine cannot handle square cards. So the options that you have are, you can send it in a regular A2, because this is 4 1/4, or you can send it in a square envelope. And let me just give you a tip for that. So when I mail cards, I like to cut a piece that is the same size as the card front, and then use an embossing folder to just kind of give a little cushion for the front of the card. And then if you have any gems or anything, it evens that out. So in the case of a square card, if you can just put this in here, but you'll see that there's space on either side. And my concern with that is that depending on how thick this card is, like this has a raised part in it, it goes through the machine and then it hits that bump, and it might damage the card. So because I'm kind of paranoid with the post office and the things they do to our mail, I would cut a panel the size of the envelope and put that over. And then I also have a second one to go over the back. So then when I put this in here, this gives this strength as an A2 size card, right? And you're not getting that, like it has smoothed it out. So then this could go through the post office meter machine, and you wouldn't have an issue because it's not hitting those two sides. That could be me being paranoid, but that's what I would probably do if I was going to mail this. And then you wouldn't have to use the non-machinable stamp, but you would want to weigh it and make sure that you were an ounce or less to use the regular stamp. For this project, I love to make my own envelopes on the 1-2-3 punch board or the envelope punch-up board. I do have a video for the making and decorating of this envelope, and I will link that for you. So I made this. This is a purple pearlescent paper. It's a little piece to match. And then I used the scrap of the Tim Holtz paper and added that to the flap. So in this case, I had the 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, cut that out of the cardstock, emboss that. Then I'll put this over the front and then send that like that. But again, I would need to use the non-machinable for this because it is a square. So here are all my cards for the August Sheetload of Cards sketch. Thanks so much for checking out the video today. I'm so happy to be the guest artist for this month, and please be sure to click over to the other team members that are sharing their creations with you today, and the playlist will be on the end screen. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and until next time, like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.